Number 8. Davante Adams.
Why I'm drafting Adams as my number 8 pick in my fantasy NFL draft. Here are my thoughts on the pros of drafting Davante Adams. Adams is a proven commodity. He's been one of the best wide receivers in the NFL for the past few years. In 2022, he led the league in receptions, 123, and receiving yards, 1,553, and he was second in receiving touchdowns, 11. He is a big play threat. He can take any catch to the house. In 2022, he had 10 catches of 50 or more yards. He is a reliable receiver. He is not going to drop many passes. In 2022, he only had 2 drops. He is going to a good situation in Las Vegas. The Raiders have a good quarterback in Derek Carr, and they have a lot of other weapons on offense, which will take some pressure off of Adams. Cons of drafting Davante Adams. He is coming off a season in which he was traded. This is a new team and a new quarterback, and it is not clear how Adams will adjust. He is 29 years old. This is considered to be the beginning of the decline for wide receivers. My conclusion on Adams. Despite the cons, I believe that Adams is still a great value at the number 8 pick. He is a proven commodity who has the potential to be a top 5 fantasy receiver in 2023. If you are looking for a receiver who can give you a consistent number of catches and yards, then Adams is a great option.
Number 7. Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb as my number 7 pick in my fantasy NFL draft, and here's why. Pros of drafting Nick Chubb. Chubb is a proven commodity. He has been one of the best running backs in the NFL for the past few years. In 2022, he rushed for 1,250 yards and 8 touchdowns. He is a versatile runner. He can run between the tackles, and he can also catch passes out of the backfield. He is on a good offense. The Browns have a good offensive line and a good quarterback in Deshaun Watson. He is not going to be a major injury risk. He has only missed 1 game in his career. Cons of drafting Nick Chubb. He is not going to be the only running back in the Browns' offense. Kareem Hunt is also a talented running back, and he will likely get a lot of touches. The Browns are not a high-scoring offense. They ranked 18th in the NFL in scoring in 2022. Despite the cons, I believe that Nick Chubb is still a great value at the number 7 pick. He is a proven commodity who has the potential to be a top 5 fantasy running back in 2023. If you are looking for a running back who can give you a consistent number of yards and touchdowns, then Chubb is a great option.
Number 6. Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill as my number 6 pick. Here are some cons to picking Hill. Pros. Hill is one of the most explosive players in the NFL. He has the speed to take any play to the house. Like a mongoose on cocaine. He is a big play threat. Last season, he had 13 catches of 50 or more yards. That is unbelievable. That alone makes him a sure pick in my books. He is hands down one of the most reliable receivers, and he is not going to drop many passes. I believe he is going to a good situation in Miami. The Dolphins have a good quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa, and they have a lot of other weapons on offense, which will take some pressure off of Hill and help him be more successful. Here are a few cons, only because I feel it is fair to do so. I did it with the rest. He is coming off a season in which he was traded. This is a new team and a new quarterback, and it is not clear how Hill will adjust. Let's just hope he put the time in to get adjusted quickly. He is 28 years old. This is not old for a wide receiver, but it is not young either. I know how it feels when age starts to kick in. 28 is definitely not old. There are other great wide receivers available in the first round. Lastly, here is my conclusion on Hill. Despite the cons, I believe that Hill is still a great value at the number 6 pick. He is a proven commodity who has the potential to be a top 3 fantasy receiver in 2023. If you are looking for a receiver who can give you a consistent number of catches, yards, and touchdowns, then Hill is a great option. The proof is in the stats.
Number 5, Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp is a great choice for the number 5 pick in your fantasy draft. He is coming off a historic season in which he led the NFL in receptions, 145, receiving yards, 1,947, and receiving touchdowns, 16. He is a sure-handed receiver who is always open, and he has great chemistry with quarterback Matthew Stafford. Here are some of the reasons why you should choose Kupp with the 5th pick. He is a proven commodity. He has been one of the best wide receivers in the NFL for the past 2 seasons. He is a big play threat. He can take any catch to the house. Last season, he had 11 catches of 50 or more yards. That's wild, right? He is a reliable receiver. He is not going to drop many passes. Last season, he only had 2 drops. The guy's hands are like sticky buns covered in duct tape. He's in a good situation in Los Angeles. The Rams have a good quarterback in Matthew Stafford, and they have a lot of other weapons on offense, which will take some pressure off of Kupp. Of course, there are no guarantees in fantasy football, but Kupp is a safe pick who has the potential to be a top 3 fantasy receiver in 2023. If he sucks, then trade his ass. Here are some additional things to consider when choosing Kupp with the 5th pick. He is a little older than some of the other receivers available in the first round. He will be 29 years old in 2023. He is coming off a historic season. It is possible that he will regress in 2023, but not likely. There are other great receivers available in the first round. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Davante Adams are all worthy of consideration. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to choose Kupp with the 5th pick is up to you. Weigh the pros and cons carefully and make the decision that you think is best for your team.
Number 4, Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase is a great choice for the number 4 pick in your fantasy draft. He is coming off a stellar rookie season in which he led all rookies in receiving yards, 816, and receiving touchdowns, 13. He is a physical receiver who is always open, and he has great chemistry with quarterback Joe Burrow. Definitely a bromance going on there. Here are some of the reasons why I would choose Chase for my 4th pick. He's hands down a freaking rock star. He had a great rookie season, and he is only going to get better. He is a big play threat. He can take any catch to the house. Last season, he had 6 catches of 50 or more yards. Chase is a safe pick who has the potential to be a top 2 fantasy receiver in 2023. Here are some additional things to consider when choosing Chase with the 4th pick. He is a little younger than some of the other receivers available in the first round. He will be 22 years old in 2023, and that shows with his level of energy. The guy doesn't stop moving. EVER. He is coming off an amazing rookie season. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to choose Chase with the 4th pick is up to you. Weigh the pros and cons carefully and make the decision that you think is best for your team. I hope this helps.
Number 3, Austin Ekeler.
Austin Ekeler is an excellent choice for the 3rd pick in your fantasy draft. He boasts incredible versatility as a running back, making him a prime candidate for your team. Ekeler's skill set extends beyond running the ball. He excels at catching passes out of the backfield. In the previous season, he demonstrated his prowess by leading all running backs in receptions with an impressive 107 catches and accumulating 927 receiving yards. Additionally, Ekeler is a formidable threat when it comes to scoring touchdowns on the ground. Consider these compelling reasons for selecting Ekeler as your 3rd pick. PPR excellence. Ekeler is a PPR machine, ranking among the NFL's top running backs in pass-catching ability. Dual threat dynamo. He's a dual threat running back who can effectively run between the tackles and make receptions out of the backfield. Strong offensive support. Ekeler benefits from playing in a high-powered offense led by quarterback Justin Herbert, with plenty of offensive weapons to share the load and reduce the pressure on him. Low injury risk. Notably, Ekeler has a strong track record of durability, having missed only 1 game in his career. While fantasy football offers no guarantees, Ekeler represents a secure choice with the potential to rank among the top fantasy running backs in 2023. If you're seeking a running back who consistently delivers in terms of receptions, yards, and touchdowns, Ekeler stands out as an exceptional option. Take these additional factors into account when considering Ekeler as your third pick. Age consideration. Keep in mind that Ekeler will be 27 years old in 2023, which makes him slightly older than some of the other first-round running back options. Career year consideration. Ekeler is coming off a career year, and there's a possibility of regression in the upcoming season. Other notable options, it's worth noting that several other outstanding running backs, such as Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, and Derrick Henry, are also worthy of consideration in the first round. Ultimately, the decision of whether to choose Ekeler with the third pick depends on your team's specific needs and your overall draft strategy. Carefully weigh the pros and cons to make the choice that aligns best with your fantasy football goals. Good luck with your draft.
Number 2, Christian McCaffrey.
Let's dive into why you should be eyeing Christian McCaffrey for that coveted number 2 spot in your fantasy draft without sounding like a broken record. Christian McCaffrey is the kind of pick that dreams are made of in fantasy football. He's not just a running back, he's a dual-threat dynamo, equally comfortable snagging passes out of thin air as he is bulldozing through the line. Last season, he went full-on beast mode, leading the NFL in scrimmage yards, a jaw-dropping 2,392, and topping the charts in receptions among all running backs with a cool 116 grabs. Oh, and he's got a nose for the end zone, both on the ground and in the air. Now, let me serve you some piping hot reasons to put your faith in McCaffrey as your second pick. Trustworthy talent, McCaffrey isn't just a one-hit wonder, he's been one of the NFL's top running backs for a hot minute. Dual threat delight. Picture this: McCaffrey weaving through defenders like a running back and leaping for passes like a wide receiver. Yeah, he's that good. Offensive buffet. McCaffrey's got a supportive cast in Carolina, led by quarterback Sam Darnold, and a buffet of offensive weapons to spread the love. Injury insights? Worried about injuries? Well, don't be too alarmed. McCaffrey's missed just 3 games in his entire career. That's like finding a 4-leaf clover in a field of 3-leafers. Of course, in fantasy football, there are no crystal balls, just a lot of armchair quarterback. But McCaffrey? He's like that comfy pair of sweatpants you never want to take off. He's not only a safe bet, but also has that tantalizing potential to be the top fantasy running back in 2023. But wait, there's more to chew on. Injury interlude. Keep in mind, McCaffrey's recent history includes a touch of injury drama. Will he be 100% in 2023? Only time will tell. Ultimately, deciding whether McCaffrey's your fantasy draft hero at the second pick is like choosing between pizza and more pizza. You can't go wrong. Weigh those pros and cons, my fantasy friend, and make the choice that fuels your fantasy football appetite. Here's to a winning season.
Number 1, Justin Jefferson.
All right, folks, gather round and let's talk about why Justin Jefferson is the number 1 fantasy draft pick. And hey, thank you all for sticking around. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button for more fun-filled content. So, Justin Jefferson, the NFL's answer to what happens when you mix lightning and football? He's so good, they named him twice. Justin Jefferson is so good, they had to give him 2 first names. That's right, he's a young receiver who's already making seasoned vets look like amateurs. With back-to-back seasons over 1,400 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns, he's basically the guy you'd invite to every backyard BBQ. Generational awesomeness. He's not just good, he's call your grandkids and tell them about it's good. One of the best receivers to grace the NFL in recent memory, Jefferson is a generational talent. House party? You know, those take it to the house moments? Well, Justin Jefferson is the party host. He turns any catch into a touchdown celebration, and in 2022, he had more 50-plus yard catches than your grandma has cookies in her jar. That's 10, by the way. Catch this, Butterfingers. Not in his vocabulary. In 2022, he only had 2 drops. It's like his hands are made of Velcro. Vikings voyage. He's on the Minnesota Vikings, a team with a quarterback named Kirk Cousins and enough offensive firepower to make a fireworks display look like a sparkler. Now, let's dish out some delicious food for thought. Age is just a number. Jefferson's young, and guess what? He's gonna get even better. If he were wine, he'd be your favorite bottle, and he's still aging. Teamwork makes the dream work. The Vikings are a touchdown factory, and Jefferson's their star worker. He'll have more opportunities to score than a squirrel at a nut convention. Cream of the crop, sure. There are other fantastic receivers in the first round, but Jefferson's the cherry on top of this fantasy football sundae. Ultimately, the decision to draft Jefferson with that prestigious first pick is yours. But if you want a receiver who'll serve up a consistent buffet of catches, yards, and touchdowns, well, Justin Jefferson's your guy. So, weigh those pros and cons, my fantasy football maestros, and make the call that'll have your opponents scratching their heads. Now, let's get ready for a winning season and hit that subscribe and like button. More fun's on the way.